Hey guys, welcome to LawnCareMadeEasy.com. I'm Zach Stroud. Today I'm going to talk about pruning your azaleas in the fall to get them ready for spring. So stick around, we'll be right back. Okay guys, so welcome back. So a lot of homeowners will not trim their shrubs in the fall because they're afraid they won't have any shoots that will produce blooms in the spring. So I'm going to show you today how you can do that and also get some spring blooms. Okay, this azalea, I'm going to trim it, and then in the spring it's going to bloom just like it naturally would. Okay, this is a Formosa, a type of this is a Formosa type of azalea. But I want you to look at something right here. You can see in a lot of this, on a lot of the leaves, you'll see a lot of bleaching, a bleaching color. Now, this could be a couple of things. This could be lace bugs, which are sucking the chlorophyll and all the nutrients out of the leaves, and it bleaches it out. Or it could be a fungus. Now, I've determined it's a lace bug. Reason being, there's no powder associated with the bleaching. Usually a fungus will have that powder, and then you'll see it kind of mildewy like and that powder look, and then that'll be able to you could wash that off a little bit. But the bleaching on here is mostly because of lace bugs, because if you look behind the leaves here, you'll see a lot of brown spots, especially on the older leaves. The bigger leaves, you'll see a brown spot. Come on in, take a look at this. You'll see a lot of brown spots in there. That's where the lace bugs will lay their eggs, and they'll start just eating away, and they'll just spread out this whole shrub. It's almost like lice in a sense. So if you have this problem, I'm going to show you at the end how to take care of that. But I'm going to trim it first, and then we're going to do some spraying. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is, you see these large shoots? I'm going to take them off first. Okay. I'm not going to use a hedge trimmer or anything like that because I want to have nice clean cuts, because we are going into fall now. If this was spring or summer and I wanted to cut this, I wouldn't mind using some hedge trimmers. Okay, but I want these to be nice cuts at a 45-degree angle, so the rain won't sit on there and freeze and cause any other problems going into spring. So what I want to do is I'm going to start off with these larger shoots and just cut those. And to tell you the truth, the hedge trimmer causes a lot more. It's quicker, but it causes a lot more mess. I'm just going to cut those. Now, if it's a large bush like this, you may get a little tired. But what I'm looking for is I'm going to look for this round appearance, okay? I'm just going to kind of round it out a little bit, leaving a little bit of natural look to it. But I'm going to get these large shoots off of here that was produced this year, because I trim it every year. And I'm not going to cut it all the way back to where you see just wood. Okay, and that's the biggest problem. You want to leave some green on here. Okay, if you cut it all the way to the wood, then what's going to happen, the new shoots next year, you most likely won't get any blooms because they have to come off of this old wood. Okay, so you want to leave some green on here. And we're just going to clean it up. And this is if you have not trimmed your shrub after they bloom in the spring. So you can still do it. You just can't be as aggressive as you could be in the spring. But who wants to be aggressive with them anyway? As you see, I'm not going really deep. I'm going to give it a nice a nice shape when I'm finished. And then when spring comes, if I want to go even further back, I can do that. I'm going to come over here, get some of these wild ones down here. And it's always good to have your azaleas blooming in the spring. It kind of lets us know that spring is here. You can see I just took those main shoots off. Cut them back just a little bit. Cut them off the house. And it looks a little bit more tamed. Okay, getting ready for spring. Now I always like the natural look of things, but I don't like it to get out of control. Like I said, I'm not taking off a lot. Just making sure those are good clean cuts. And always make sure you sterilize these. I keep these in a sterilized state. Every time I'm finished, I'll go clean them. Let me get these over here. Okay. So I think that's a nice look. I think it's a nice round look. Get a little bit of there. Okay. Okay. So now that we've cut this back just a little bit, we've put some maintenance to it. So now we need to treat it. Okay. So let me show you what we're going to treat it with. This is what I'm going to show you to use if you're doing this any time of the year. Okay. I know this says a dormant spray, but you can use this any time of the year. I use this on some of my fruit trees, but it takes care of all these little mites and lace bugs and fungus diseases and everything like that. If you want to spray them on your shrubs, or if you have smaller trees that are developing any type of spider mites or anything like that. So what I'm going to do, I already have some mixed up, but this is what I use, and this will take care of this problem in no time. Okay. Now the bleaching, I will have to do a little bit more cut on them come spring. After they bloom, I'll do another cut just to get rid of this older stuff. And then I'll just have to keep this sprayed because it's in a shaded area, and that really likes the shade. The lace bugs really like the shade, and it gets a lot of rain here and a lot of water. So it stays pretty moist in here, and lace bugs like that. So let me go ahead and spray it. I already have it mixed up. And I do recommend use some type of gloves or a face mask if you want. Now, if it was windy out here, I'd be using a face mask, or I probably wouldn't even be spraying to begin with. But I don't like it on my hands or anything like that. Not to say that it's, you know, too poisonous, but we just don't know. So. Okay, so we're just going to start spraying, and we're just going to hit what we can, and you know, some of it will start to drop off, but we're going to get a good covering on there. Okay, and we're just going to put it on the spray. There we go. And we'll just start in the back, and I'll come forward, and we're just going to wet it down really good. And you can see I'm really soaking the leaves. Okay, and if you get a good spray, that's what it should look like. Your leaves should really be soaked. And if you can get down in to the shrub, I would recommend that. Some shrubs you can't, but azaleas usually have some openings in them that you can get down and get some of the leaves that are down towards the trunk. And we're just going to continue to do this. And sometimes, you know, you may, if this was earlier than a year, say, and if I was doing this in October, I'd be able to do a second treatment. So if you need to do this in the spring, it's not going to hurt your plant. It's only going to protect it. So if you need to do more than one treatment, do it. It's not going to hurt your plant. I'd probably recommend you, on a maintenance schedule, you do it at least once a month. Okay, so it looks like we've covered the the whole azalea. Oh, look, we have a grasshopper in there. Let's get him out of there. So you never know what's living in your shrubs. Okay, I think we got it good and wet. Saturated everything pretty good here. I'm about out, so. Okay. Okay, so just make sure you have a good covering over there. The leaves are kind of dripping with it. When you go across them, you'll see it drip off of them. No reason to lift up each leaf and spray on the underside of it. Spraying on the top is plenty. So, if you think you've missed some spots, go back and, just make sure you have a good covering, okay? So I hope this video helps you out, and that is it for today, but we'll see you on the next one. Thank you, guys.